Hello, hello. How are you? This is Craig Beck, aka the Stop Drinking Expert and the author of Alcohol Lied to Me, the book that has helped hundreds of thousands of people to quit drinking without willpower, without cravings, without embarrassing group meetings, without dangerous medication, without any of the struggle that you would expect with this nasty little narcissistic drug that we call alcohol. So today, by the way, if you're new to the channel, congratulations, welcome along. Great to have you here. Hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you get notifications. You know the score. Today, I want to talk about blood pressure and alcohol and the perfect storm that comes when you hit middle age, and why this is a perfect storm and why it all kind of comes together at this point in our lives. That's what I want to talk about today, because I would say, and I'm guessing here, I don't have any stats to back this up, but just in my experience, most people who qualify as a problem drinker, as a heavy drinker, also have high blood pressure. I would say the vast majority of problem drinkers are hypertensive. So let's talk about that. Are you worried about your blood pressure? Have you had a checkup recently and they said, oh, you're a little bit high? And normally what happens is the doctor or nurse will suggest that you make some lifestyle changes. And they will say, lose a bit of weight and stop drinking. And you go, yeah, I'll do the diet, but you can fuck off with the stopping drinking. That's at least that's what I thought many times back in the day when I would go and see the doctor, and he'd say, yeah, you know, maybe lose a little bit of weight, Craig, and knock the drinking on the head. Yeah, I'll do the Atkins, doctor, but I'm not. You can start off with the drinking. So let's talk about blood pressure a little bit. First of all, how common is it? If you've got high blood pressure, are you some sort of freak, some sort of weirdo? No, it's very, very common. This is according to the CDC. And nearly half of adults in the United States have high blood pressure. 47% of adults in the United States have hypertension, which is defined as a systolic blood pressure greater than 130 or a diastolic blood pressure greater than 80, or they're taking medication for hypertension. 1 in 4 adults with hypertension have their condition under control. The stats are stacked against you. If you're a man, 50% of men, 44% of women have high blood pressure. High blood pressure more common in non-Hispanic Black adults, 56%, than in non-Hispanic white adults, 48%. Non-Hispanic Asian adults, 46%, and Hispanic adults, 39%. Among those recommended to take blood pressure medication, blood pressure control is higher among non-Hispanic white adults. So that's the stats. It's a little map of where high blood pressure is prevalent in the United States by county. The reason I'm talking about it in connection to alcohol is blood pressure is an issue that kind of gets worse naturally for us all as we grow older. It's just one of those functions of the human body that, you know, it shows a bit of wear and tear, like your eyes, like your hearing, and a few other things. It's just natural that they're going to get worse as you get older. And it's normally when you get to be around, middle age, that you start to see, physical problems with your blood pressure, because you can have high blood pressure for most of your life and see no symptoms at all, have absolutely no sign of it. It's just when you get older and you start to get a few little health issues, and that doctor puts the cuff on your arm and he says, well, your blood pressure is a bit high. That could be the cause. And all of a sudden, blood pressure is something that becomes very important to you, something that you're looking at all the time. So if you're 18 years old and watching this, then you should have a very healthy, very low blood pressure of around 120/70. Middle-aged people like me should be around 125/77. And if you're into later life, then 133/69 is the goal for men. So that's kind of what we're aiming for. But the thing is, I would say the average age of the person that comes and does my course at stopdrinkingexpert.com is about 39. I get very, very few people doing the course before the age of 35. And not so much at the later end either. It's kind of, 40 to 50 is the sweet spot for people turning up at my website and looking for some help with their drinking. So why is that? Why don't I get 30-year-olds at my website? And the answer is this. Alcohol is like water torture. It's a drip feed addiction. And it's not like heroin. You know, you do heroin for a week solidly and that's it, you're hooked, you're screwed. And life's going to get very bad very quickly. You can do alcohol for decades before life starts to go down the toilet. You can get away with it for 20 years before suddenly things start going very bad. And it's that slow process of sinking in quicksand that makes this drug so evil and deceptive. Because for the longest time, you genuinely believe that you're in control of it. Because the evil clown allows you to see the evidence of what you want to see. You know, you can be a problem drinker and you look around and you go, but I can't have a problem because I drink the same as all my friends. Social proof. I have safety in numbers. Brilliant. I can't be a serious alcoholic because I never want to drink alcohol in the morning. In fact, the very thought of it repulses me. I can't be an alcoholic because I don't drink every day. I can't be an alcoholic because I can go weeks if I want to without drinking alcohol. I can't be, you see what I mean? For years and years and decades, you can find something to point at and say, I haven't got a problem because of this. And so you know, on your drinking career, on your journey to that valve moment where you stop being a social drinker and you all of a sudden become a problem drinker, and there is no way back from that point. That journey takes, look, I'm going to say at least a decade. I don't think I've ever met anyone, whether it's at Quit Drinking Boot Camp or on my course, that hasn't at least invested a decade of their life to this filth. For some people, it's longer. It's 15, 20 years. So because this drug requires you to invest so much time in it, that places you in the sweet spot for problems with your heart, your blood pressure, your cardiac system, and all that sort of stuff. So you find yourself middle-aged with a drinking problem. And then you go to the doctor and he says, you've got high blood pressure, you need to stop drinking. Panic. And what a lot of people do is they end up getting put on prescription medication to treat their blood pressure because it's getting crazy out of control. And they're ending on, you know, borderline hypertensive crisis, going to emergency rooms because their blood pressure is off the scale. So the doctor steps in and prescribes them ACE inhibitors, ARB medication, diuretics, beta blockers, all this big cauldron of prescription drugs to get their blood pressure under control. And a lot of people would rather take that with all of the side effects that come with it than consider stopping drinking. I believe, and I'm not a doctor, and you know that I'm not here to give medical advice. That, you know, and that's why there's a big disclaimer on the screen, because I'm not qualified to give medical advice. But in my 13 years of helping people with alcohol, people see around a 9 to 10 point drop in their systolic, diastolic readings. So if they were, you know, at 150 or 140 when they were drinking, they come down to kind of top end normal by just stopping drinking. That's how amazing this is. And if you want to know how quickly that happens, it takes, in my experience, again, just from talking to people, it takes a month to 6 weeks for you to see a dramatic drop in your blood pressure. But like I said, a lot of people would rather just take the medicine than stop drinking the poison. And the insanity of that becomes clear when you look at the side effects of, you know, some of the medication that's prescribed for high blood pressure. In fact, let me just Google beta blocker side effects. Just see what we've got on this list here. Let's have a look. Okay. Let's see if there's a better website than that. Okay. Let's post that up here. So, slow heart rate, yeah, low blood pressure, well, obviously. Irregular heart rhythms, tiredness, dizziness, nausea, insomnia, dry mouth or eyes, sexual and erectile dysfunction. They aggravate asthma. They cause problems with blood sugar levels. But, I mean, if you're a guy, are you telling me you'd rather have erectile dysfunction than stop drinking? And the answer for a lot of men is yes. I mean, if that's not evidence of how firmly this drug has got hold of you, I don't know what is, where you would knowingly choose impotence to keep alcohol. It's bonkers, but that's the absolute truth of it. So if you're watching this video and you're considering stopping drinking and you have high blood pressure, then take this as a challenge. This is a little project for you. Take your blood pressure on day 1 of quitting drinking. Then don't take it again for another month. Then take your blood pressure after a month or 6 weeks and get in touch with me, because I know you will be blown away by the result you get. And almost to the point that, you know, if you are currently on medication for your blood pressure, you need to keep a close eye on this, because if you stop drinking and continue taking the medication the doctor's giving you, you could end up with blood pressure that's too low. So it may be that at the end of this month, you go to your doctor and they take you off the medication because your blood pressure is too low. Imagine that. So many benefits come from quitting drinking. And if you're ready to take the first step, I'm here to help you every step of the way. Go to the website, stopdrinkingexpert.com, sign up for today's free quit drinking webinar, watch the webinar, and there's a download link at the end to get my book free of charge. Or if you're impressed with what you've heard and you understand what I'm saying to you, then you can get started on the complete 90-day program. But you have to attend the webinar first. That is the only proviso. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Discover the world's most successful and respected online quit drinking program today.
I'd say really consider this, because it's different. It's different to anything you can find out there.
Are you finally ready to take action? Your sober journey begins 11 a.m. Sunday. Reserve your space at my next free